Researchers in South Texas working to exhume the bodies of migrants who died trying to cross the border have uncovered a series of mass graves and human remains buried in shocking conditions.
In biohazard bags, in garbage bags. We found one in a shopping bag that was from the funeral home. They could be children.
Researchers and students from the University of Indianapolis and Baylor University have been digging up the remains of illegal immigrants buried in Brooks County, Texas, in order to identify the bodies and send them home to their families. The plot was meant to contain 52 bodies, but the teams found multiple cases where the remains of several people had been buried in the same grave. Some of the remains were buried in trash bags, body bags, shopping bags, or even without any container. Brooks County has seen a sharp increase in immigrant deaths over the past few years, as migrants try to evade a border checkpoint by crossing harsh terrain and brutal heats, often without adequate water or shade.
We've had hundreds of people die in the wilderness in Brooks County over the last several years. The local sheriff's office is tasked with recovering the dead and disposing of the remains. And they've become completely overwhelmed by the problem.
The Corpus Christi Caller-Times reports the sheriff's office typically sends migrants' bodies to a local funeral home, which charges $450 for each burial. County officials say they've been paying for the funeral home to handle migrant bodies for at least 16 years. Researchers believe the remains they exhumed were buried at the funeral home between 2005 and 2012. Baylor University anthropologist Lori Baker, who helped lead the excavation, told the Los Angeles Times, Brooks County officials don't have the resources to properly deal with the remains of deceased migrants. They're so overworked. Trying to keep people alive who are in distress is the county's #1 priority, so they haven't been able to make the remains one. On Wednesday, Texas Governor Rick Perry announced an additional $1.3 million per week in funding has been approved for the state's Department of Public Safety in order to address the rising influx of immigrants. For Newsy, I'm Madison Burke.